Welcome to another episode of I Need a Session. I'm Kim Wilson, your host. If this is your first time joining, this show is all about self-empowerment. I created a safe space for people to share their stories. I believe every human being has a story that is connected to the healing, the growth, or development of another human being. Once again, I have a wonderful show lined up for you. And 5, 4, 3, 2, hit it. Meet Tina Fears. She is redefining what it means to be a working artist. Whether she's ready to roll in her featured commercials with Ford Motor Company, celebrating the holidays with Walmart ads, or taking flights with Delta Airlines, make no mistake, Tina Fears is a student of arts and entertainment, first and foremost. She recently landed a role as Clara Ward in a series called Genius, Aretha, which is streamed on the National Geographic channel. Tina has also found success in the music industry, providing vocal arrangement and background for Walking on Water off Lecrae's Grammy-nominated album, Rehab. Even gospel stars, Dietrich Haddon and Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child have leaned on Tina's vocal skills for their live shows. A luminary like Tina will forever have a place in the world of entertainment. Welcome to another episode of I Need a Session. I'm Kim Wilson, your host. I have my very special guest with me today, Miss Tina Fears.
Hey, how are you?
I am well. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much.
Yes, Miss Fearless, just like, as I talked about yes, honey, Miss Fearless. In the intro, I know that you recently landed a role as Clara Ward in National Geographic's channel. It's being streamed on National Geographic's channel. It's called Genius, Aretha. So I just want to jump right in and get started. How did you, land that role as Clara Ward?
Yeah, I auditioned. My agent sent me the breakdown. They said, here's an opportunity to portray the legendary Clara Ward of the Ward Singers. We all know she is the godmother of gospel music. And it was just in the process of auditioning, which actors do a lot. You hear more no's than you do yeses. And so when I read the breakdown for the character, I just connected with it automatically because my roots are gospel and I knew this was going to be a phenomenal project. And so I decided to shoot my shot and I got a yes.
Yes, I love it. Shoot your shot. I'm sure, anything that's connected to Aretha Franklin. What I really like about this particular series, I think we get a closer look into Aretha's life because even like how the first couple of episodes started off, she's spending a lot of time with her dad. We see that connection with her dad. And then we see women coming in and out of the dad's life. And one of the lines that really stood out for me is when I'm not sure if it was a record executive, he said, well, I thought he was a preacher. He said, well, he likes Sunday nights. He likes Saturday nights, just like Sunday morning.
Yes. Oh, yes. He loves Saturday night just as much as he loves Sunday morning. For sure.
Yes. And, I personally believe that life is all about connecting the dots. Nothing is just anything. So I'm sure you probably felt ready for this role because you had already developed and created your own play. I'm not sure if you would call it play around the Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, shortly after Miss Franklin's passing, I connected with some colleagues of mine here in Atlanta, and we decided that we wanted to do kind of a tribute concert. And we put it together really in about a week, almost like you would with, planning a funeral. It happens, and then the family has to act, and you want to, create something beautiful. And we did, and it sold out. We played here in a suburb of Atlanta, Lawrenceville, which is the area that I live in. And we had about 25 artists. We had a live band. We had pit singers. And it was more than just a concert or cabaret because we had choreography, we had costume changes. And it was just something that we felt like it was necessary to do. We kind of have an issue in Atlanta right now where opportunity, I think it's worldwide, opportunities are limited for Black people. And so though we were celebrating the life and legacy of Aretha Franklin, we were also creating opportunities for Black artists in Atlanta to be seen on stage in an all Black show, which is something that we don't really see a lot of. So I didn't know then, I think that was 2018, that, years later, I would be on this huge project helping to tell her story on such a large scale.
Yeah, and there are some familiar names too in this series. Courtney B. Vance, who's playing Aretha's father, and we got
Yeah.
Ty, who is an
Mhm.
Atlanta native. Well, I'm not sure if he was born in Atlanta, but I know he's Atlanta bred now.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
think he's from Mechanicsville. I think he's from Atlanta. I think he reps Atlanta too hard to not be.
yeah, yeah, and then I saw Pauletta Washington's
Yes.
name in the credits, and I said, maybe I missed her. She was in makeup, and I'm not like, where is her? Where is she in here?
She's
And
the grandmother.
oh, okay, I didn't recognize that's her. Okay,
Yes.
okay. Was all of it filmed in Georgia?
Yeah, we shot everything in Atlanta and we had to stop because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
We were on hiatus and we came back in October and finished it up.
Oh, that was wonderful. So, what was it like? Was everybody on set together? Were you on set with Courtney B. Vance? And well, I
Mhm.
think you were on set with Courtney B. Vance. With Ti and how did they do
Mhm.
that? Or were you all like shooting and you made us think you were together?
Yeah. Yeah, for myself and Mr. Courtney, most of my scenes are with him. So I obviously worked with him, but I did not work with the older Aretha, who Cynthia portrays, and the adult siblings until we got to episode 6, which aired last night. So most of my stuff was with little Aretha, Mr. Courtney. I worked with Omar, who was James Cleveland on the project, and then some of the people who were part of that 1950s tent revival circuit.
Mhm.
So then once we came back and shot Amazing Grace, I had the pleasure of working with Cynthia, Mr. Courtney, Patrice Covington, Rebecca Naomi Jones, Stephen Norfleet. So I got to work with the older family. So I was blessed to kind of work with both teams. I wasn't there when T.I. was on set, and with COVID, we really were kind of isolated to our trailers and had our face mask on and our shields. And then we would come back when we had to shoot things. But prior to shooting, prior to COVID-19 happening, it was really very communal, very family-like environment that was created. We would all be in the makeup trailers with the music playing for whatever period we were shooting in. So we were shooting in the 50s, you had 50s music playing, and we would all be in the trailers together. And it was really just a fantastic experience.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really enjoying the show. How many episodes are there?
So 7 through tonight. And then they're also going to be, I believe, can't give too much. There might be something culminating around the Queen of Soul's birthday as well. But 7 is what is out. 7 is what is happening.
Yeah, that's
and so have you been watching it?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And I was impressed from episode 1.
Yeah, great.
And the reason why, what really got me is just I think what stood out for me is the relationship with her dad. I knew the mom was missing.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it always felt like when it came to Aretha's personal life, we don't talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the music. And it just gave us an extra glimpse to just understanding who she was as a person. Even when we look at her relationship with Ted, like I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know just the nature of, or even she had an ex-husband named Ted.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the genius Aretha was intentional about making sure that we presented, first of all, honoring her and her legacy, but shining a light on what her genius, what that took, what that felt like, what that sounded like, and what those bricks that kind of built that genius that the world loves as the Queen of Soul, where the inspiration behind the songs came from, where the countenance behind, Miss Franklin was very unbothered. Whenever we see her latter interviews, it was okay, gowns, great gowns. It was very that. And so I think with them taking a look through the lens of genius, it's so much more than the songs. And I think it allows those of us that are fans of hers to have a greater appreciation for her journey. How she had to fight for her credit as a producer. I mean, she couldn't read music, didn't write music, but she was arranging and hearing things in the tempo of something, how she knew she wanted the words to be said. And that was so uncommon. That's things that Black women in general still fight with today, just to get their producer credit on their projects. And so, she's phenomenal. And I'm excited that you're watching it. So we're talking in real time.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job too of highlighting her as a musician, just really honing in on the fact like this woman played the piano. Yes, she can produce. I think they did a really good job
Yeah.
highlighting that. I mean,
Right.
well, and speaking of music, I mean, you're no stranger to music yourself. I mean, vocal chops, vocal skills. You're back with Lecrae doing vocal arrangements, for Dietrich Haddon, Michelle Williams. I mean, so you are multi-talented. Yeah. So
Thank you. Thank
yes,
you so much.
yeah. Talk to me a little bit about your musical experience.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been around music. Music has always been a part of my life. I come from a musical family. My dad was a songwriter. My mom, we were always just around music. And it's so funny because I'm just now kind of coming out from behind the scenes because I've been behind the scenes so long, and that was by choice. That's when I started my company, Stage Ready. I knew that once I found my way back to the arts, I didn't want to be a starving artist. And we're seeing some of that with Miss Franklin's story. The money, as we saw in that last episode, was when she was in the room with all the white executives and the white artists. And those are the people who were really making the money. And so I saw some of the success and failure when it came to not really having a grasp or understanding for the business side of the entertainment industry. And so for me, going behind the scenes and collaborating as a choreographer or, singing backgrounds so I could get a greater understanding for how, the road and all of that stuff worked. And being able to really establish myself in various ways, demoing songs for artists. I had was blessed to be on that Walking on Water project with Lecrae, with some colleagues of mine who they have gone on to, win Grammys as producers and stuff. So I just believe everything is kind of a stepping stone. And I feel like it all contributed to when I got ready to be Clara Ward, I knew I'm not going to sing her like I would a Tasha Cobb or Kiera Shear cover because this is 1950s. You know what I'm saying? So having an understanding for the behind the scenes and the business and just honoring the different periods of music, I think has been a good tool to kind of have in my bag. Because I always wanted to be the show and the business. I don't want to just be the person that you put out front. I want to be somebody who can be established behind the scenes as well.
All right, listen, we just got handed a nugget. See, I don't want anybody. This show is called I Need a Session. And it's all about being able to hear pieces of a person's story or all of it, and that connecting to somebody else's growth development. So one of the things that just stood out for me, you said, I don't want to just be the you didn't use the word talent, but basically, just knowing the business part of it as well. Doing your work, do your homework. So I want to go back to when you talked about putting that show together, and there was 25 artists, there was choreography, there was a live band. So did you put all of that together? Did you put all, bring?
So it was my concept. Yeah, it was my concept. And I have a close colleague of mine. His name is Brian Jordan Jr. A lot of people might know him from Tyler Perry's Sisters on BET. He plays Maurice. He's a good friend of mine here in Atlanta, and he directed and did the choreography for it. Christian Magby is a very dear friend of mine, and he was just in One Night in Miami in the role of Jamal. He was our music director. And then another friend of mine, India Tyree, who is a very well-respected singer and actor here in Atlanta. She did our vocal arrangement. So it was a team of 4. It was a Tina Fierce concept, but I wanted to make sure I collaborated with artists that I knew, 1, were passionate about it, 2, that I love to work with and had really strong, solid skill sets to help pull this off. And we just got on our phones and just told our friends, hey, we're doing an Aretha concept. Y'all want to sing? What song do you want to sing? Do you want to dance? Do you want to play this, that, and the other? And the response was overwhelming because people loved Aretha so much. And this is younger generation. These are people in their 20s and 30s, but had an understanding of who she was, what her influence was on the arts community. And they wanted to do their best to we covered all her songs, everything from the old Landmark to the How I Got Over to the Rock Steady to, Chain of Fools, all the stuff. We covered all of that. And it was well received, standing ovation, sold out. And I'm thankful.
Wow. See, by the time I hear sold out, just the marketing that goes by, just to put some tickets on sale. It's not like, I just thought we'll pop on here today and sell some tickets. No, you got to do your work.
Yeah.
one of the things that I picked up about you just from looking at your digital footprint and all the work that you have done, what I see and what I gather is you are a professional through and through. It's one
Mm.
thing to get a role, but for somebody to, to take a role in whatever assignment that you have and hold it close because you understand that it's a body of work that may touch somebody. That's professional.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for that. That means a lot. You just go out here and try to do your best. My company is called Stage Ready. So I believe that has to be a through line in all aspects of my life. And so whether I'm behind the scenes in a producer capacity, if I'm, coordinating a big corporate event, or if I'm having to bring it when they say lights, camera, action, rolling, I want to make sure that I'm stage ready in all capacities. So that means a lot that you picked that up about who I am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. And so, even though you're no stranger to the stage, when you appeared on set for Genius, Aretha, were you nervous?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I looked at that call sheet and I saw Courtney B. Vance, and I saw Anthony Hemingway, and I saw Susan Laurie Parks, and I saw Nima Barnett, who directed that first episode that I did. And yeah, I was like, my heart was jumping out my chest because, the enemy has a way of kind of bringing things into your mind. Even though God will open up a door for you to put you in position, the enemy will still attack you with, are you good enough? Do they really want you? I mean, all of that stuff, you can be booked, contract signed, how much you getting paid on the table, and you still can kind of go through just the insecurity and the uneasiness. So the nervousness was there, but I used it as motivation. I tried to just kind of pack it down, and just to your point about the professionalism and me wanting to be stage ready, I said, girl, this is what you've been working for. This is what you asked for. This is what you asked your Heavenly Father for, and He's giving it to you. So you got to just step into it, step up, learn. I learned so much on set. I've been on television before in a commercial capacity. So I wasn't new to the process, but Clara Ward was a real person. This isn't, grocery mom number 2 or Cindy Bell or some random person. You want to honor her grace and her elegance and how committed she was to her craft and how much she loved little Aretha, so I had to bring all of that in, and then everything is happening on set. They've already been shooting all day. By the time I arrive, it's not like everybody's, hi, Tina, welcome. We've been waiting for you. You're jumping on a train that's already moving. So it's like, you see the hobos running, trying to jump on the back of the caboose. When you're on set and it's time for you to go up, you're kind of on something that's already been moving. So you have to adjust to the energy in the room. If the scene before was really dramatic and the tone is heavy, you gotta, you can't get caught up in that because your scene is to take it here. So you got to just be ready to adjust. So to answer the question, very nervous. I would be lying if I didn't say I was, but it was good though.
Yeah. Nugget number 2, adjust to the energy in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're working on a set, you're working for a corporate, listen, we have to learn to adjust to the energy in the room. And sometimes, we walk in with attitudes and stuff like that. It is our responsibility to show up and do our best. So I just love hearing adjust to the energy in the room.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, so you've done commercials for L'Oreal and Special K and Ford Motor Company. So I just want to go to Ford Motor Company because that's one of my favorite commercials. And if you go to Tina's website, you can see this commercial. So now let me just go back a little bit. Whenever a person, they dance, they sing, and they act, people will use the term a triple threat. I don't really like that. Because we have to be careful with that, especially as women. It's like, no threat here, because when you hear the word threat, once that seed has been planted, now you think you got to compete with me. None of that here. I like triple blessing,
Yeah. Oh, that's cute. I love it. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, that's what you are. I mean, because you sing, you dance, and you act. So now let's go to this Ford commercial. And I was like, when I watched it, I was like, oh my God. So, how long ago did you shoot that?
I think the Ford campaign came out in 2017. I think that was 2017 when we did that. And Sheldon Candace was my director, and he actually has a mini series that is on Netflix right now. So if you look him up, he has like one of the shorts mini shorts that's on Netflix. So yeah, that was pretty big because that was like, national. You get the residuals, and then from that one commercial, I ended up getting another separate one, a 15-minute spot of just Tina. So I didn't know that going into it. I just thought it was going to be that one campaign, but it did so well that they broke it off and did a separate commercial as well.
Yeah, yeah. So, I want to move, I want to just kind of pivot a little bit and go back to Stage Ready, because I think that's important. And part of that is, I feel like whether I work for corporate or whether I work for a hospital or something like that, I always have something on the side, because it is my responsibility to take care of me. I'm not sitting back waiting for, twiddling my thumbs. So by the time I hear Stage Ready, and I already know that you have landed roles with reputable brands, but there's the businesswoman, Tina Fears, being fearless. So what was the motivation for you even starting your company?
Yeah, so I was at Clark Atlanta University, where I attended CU for 2 years, and I ran out of money. And I remember I told you in the beginning, I've always come from a creative background. Artsy family, my dad's songwriter, all that good stuff. And so even in the midst, while I was at CAU, I was majoring in education. I wasn't majoring in anything that was art centered. But I took a major disappointment, because it was really important for me to get my degree. But the environment around me just would not allow me to do so. I didn't have that support. I took that disappointment and I used it as motivation. So I started Stage Ready because I knew I was called to something great, and I just wasn't going to allow myself to be defeated because it wasn't happening in this traditional manner that I thought it was supposed to happen in. So I took $100 in a dream. The dream was to create this. Remember, I said show and business. I wanted to get that business side of entertainment under my belt. That was the dream, and $100 was all it cost to get your LLC in the state of Georgia at the time. And I wrote my business plan. I got Starting a Business for Dummies, which was like the black and yellow book that I don't even know if people use that anymore. And wrote my mission for my business, got my checking account opened up, and I had a whole team, believe it or not, of makeup artists, hairstylists, personal assistants. And we started servicing the Atlanta gospel and mainstream community. We did choreography for them. We cast background singers. We cast singers for tours. We produced for the Dove Awards. We produced for BET Celebration of Gospel. So it didn't start with success. It was me giving away my services. It was literally me saying, like, back in the MySpace days, I'm about to tell my age now. Somebody's light was on, hey, I'm Tina Fears. I have this company in Atlanta called Stage Ready. We provide choreography. Please let me know if you guys are ever in need of any dancers or singers. We'll be happy to cast them for you. Oh, really? Well, I'm shooting this video. So do y'all have such and such? Sure. Let me send you 20 headshots. I mean, people just bought into the idea of what Stage Ready is or was or could be, and they jumped on board. And the blessing was I was always able to pay people, and that was something I took pride in as a very young businesswoman with my little briefcase and my phone. I wanted to pay people, even if I wasn't getting paid. You're going to pay my folks. I made sure I paid my people first. They never had to wait around they got Stage Ready checks, and they felt good taking a check, even if it was only $50 to get paid to do something, elevated them to being professionals because they were being compensated for their skill or their talent. So yeah, I just took, school in that manner didn't work out. And I was working full-time jobs. I got 2 computers over here now. One was my job and the other one was for my business. I would use my vacation time to go to California and cast or do shows or whatever. And one thing about wherever I worked, they knew she had a business. You know how sometimes people have to keep their business under the table. I led with that. I know I am in this situation to provide this service for you and make your dream come true, but I got my own. And I was very clear about that and took pride in it. And my employers throughout the years respected that until I was able to transition to running my business full time. And that was about 10 years ago when we moved to fully just doing the business.
Yeah. So here's the last nugget. I want you all to make sure that you really get this. Tina just told you she moves forward without permission and apology. That's what it means to who is there a business fairy? Who you asking? May I start a business? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. And that's what it means to move forward without permission and apology, chin up, shoulders back. When you operate in that kind of excellence, you're just gonna have some folks off to the side. You're just gonna have some folks off to the side you thought loved you and supported you. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, what's that energy? But you know what? We can't even focus on that, because by the time I hear you say you had all these makeup artists and hairstylists ready to rock and roll for you, that's the energy that you call towards you. And that's where the focus is. Never on the ones, the unexpected one you didn't expect, to just kind of like, whoa, wait a minute. Where's this coming from? What's all this commentary about? Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And that's what it takes. I mean, when you have, you probably saw on the website, I'm always saying, and it's a fearless sign up there, be fearless in the pursuit of what's setting your soul on fire. And so whatever that thing is that you're waking up in the morning, or you, that's the first thing you think about. You're sitting at your job miserable, not just because you don't like your job, because I'd rather be making cupcakes, child. I got an idea for a beautiful cupcake, and put the strawberry in the middle. I can sell them for $2.50 each and do a dozen. We do whatever that thing is that is really giving you that motivation, that inspiration. We have to pursue that. I'm not telling people to walk away from your job today and go forth. I'm not saying that, but I am saying find a way to feed what it is that you're passionate about, because one, that's going to allow you to have an outlet. It's going to help you bring that happiness and that peace, because who wants to be miserable?
Yes.
I don't want to teacup with my friends that want to talk about how bad the thing is. Let's talk about what you're going to do to not be so miserable.
Yeah.
And that's being, you got to be, and it's hard, but you have to be fearless in pursuing that and knowing that you have really been called to greater. And we got to take the steps to get in line with all of that.
Yes. Be fearless. Well, our time has come. Tina, tell them, let everybody know, one, where they can find you, and tell them one more time where they can find Genius Aretha.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, they can watch Genius Aretha on National Geographic, or if you've missed the series, you can go to Hulu. And all the episodes are there. So I say, get you a good snack, get you something to drink, get you somebody to text chat with, make it a movie night, and binge watch the whole thing. They can connect with me at Tina Fears on all social media platforms. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. DM me if you have any questions. And then you can also go to my website, tinafears.com.
All right. We did it. Thank you all for watching. Onward and upward.